What is up guys, and welcome to another video. So today I will be doing a complete Switch unboxing. And I'm not gonna lie, I have already unboxed this and I have been playing some Nintendo Switch, but I decided to pack it all into this box again, just so that I can show you what is actually included in the box. And I thought it would be a great addition to the channel, since I will be making some Switch content in the future. You know, just to have the unboxing as well. Box is really small. Like, if you look at this, compared to, let's say, a what do you even call it? A PlayStation 4 or something. Like, this box is small, but I guess the Switch is as well. I have the new 3DS box here as well. As you can see, it's very small as well compared to many other consoles. And they don't actually seal this anymore. They used to have like a piece of tape up here, but they don't anymore, so I guess. So on the front here we are presented with the Switch console itself and the Joy-Cons. This is obviously the neon color one, neon blue and the neon red. I'm not sure how they will look on screen, but in real life these are more kind of an orange pink than red, but they are definitely a neon color. And this one is a more matte blue, I guess, almost turquoise, I would say. It has a lot more green in it than it has on the pictures, it seems like. Yeah, this one looks bluer. This one has a more green to it. Well, they look basically the reverse on camera. That's interesting. This one looks dark blue, but yeah. Moving on, I will unbox this later. These were wrapped in plastic when they came, but I've thrown that away somewhere. But you can basically lift this up. I must say, this is a really nicely presented box when it first arrives. I've kind of like thrown everything in here right now. So on the left side here you have your HDMI cable. I think this is the plastic bag where the AC adapter should be, but who knows. So standard HDMI. Moving on, we have on the left side, we start with the boring stuff. They actually include an AC adapter, which they didn't do when we got the new 3DS. So it's nice that they do include this, and obviously this is the one we use in Sweden, and I think it's the European adapter. The output is 15 volts 2.6 amps, which is a fairly strong adapter. This right here is the one that came with the SM Edge, which is 5 volts 2 amps. Basically that's all the cables that are included. In the middle here the Joy-Con grip. So this thing is actually more useful than I thought. So to be honest, from my experience, holding the Joy-Cons one by one isn't particularly, I will show that later, it's not particularly comfortable, at least not for my hands, but plugging them into this thing makes them a lot better, a lot nicer feeling. Here we have on the sides the Joy-Con straps, I think they're called. So what's nice about these is that they fit on both Joy-Cons. So you have minus here, this goes to the left one, the right, the plus here goes to the right Joy-Con. And you know, you can strap them to your wrist, and then you have these like buttons. I've honestly never used these because I've had no need to, but they seem useful in Mario Kart. One thing you should know though is that they are very difficult to take off once you've put them on. At least in the beginning. I've heard they get a bit more like loose in the end, but yeah. And here on the right we have, of course, the dock. Yes. So this is nothing particularly like interesting. Get into focus. Like, it's basically just, if you can see down there, is a USB-C contact. So when you place the Switch there, like the USB-C thing goes up. Or, well, I guess the plastic surrounding it goes down. So on the back here is where you plug in your USB, AC adapter, and HDMI out. So this USB 3.0, but as far as I know, the Switch doesn't actually support USB 3.0, but it will be supported later with a software update. Oh yeah, and basically some more USB ports. So I guess those are useful for charging the Pro Controller if you have one, or if you decide to get a charging grip. So, alright, so that's everything included in the box. So that is an overview of everything that is included. Obviously not, this is the microphone that I'm using, but the Switch console, the dock, the Joy-Con grip, both, the two Joy-Cons as well as the Joy-Con straps, the AC adapter and the HDMI. So, let me actually show you where the magic happens. So if you want to play with this, play using the grip, all you have to do is just put them and slide them in. It's really satisfying, it's really clicky as well. All it does is just give them some space and, you know, these wings, whatever you want to call them. Something I've noticed with mine is that the Joy-Cons don't fit. Like if you hear that. Like they aren't completely still there. They are like a bit loose. I'm not sure if it's just my units or the other ones as well. But yeah, the buttons here are, well, basically like 3DS buttons. You have the start and select, I guess you would call them, the home button, the print screen, or the snapshot, whatever you want to call it, and then, you know, your D-pad, which isn't really a D-pad. This one here is the IR sensor, and then in this joystick there is a NFC reader for Amiibos. Maybe in the future we will perhaps get some more uses to the NFC reader here. As far as I know, it's a real NFC reader and not just for Amiibos, so it will be interesting to see if like developers choose to implement it in other ways. To take them off, there are two buttons on the back that you have to just pull down like that. Right, so and now for the Joy-Cons. You can hold them like this as well. This is another way of playing it, if you don't have the Joy-Con grips. And the third way of playing them is basically holding them like this. I'm not actually sure if the print screen button works when you have them like this, because it seems like it will be in the way. But yeah, basically like this, and then you have the shoulder buttons here, SL and SR. Like they aren't as comfortable as using them in Joy-Con grip, but they are quite nice. I mean, it's like I could definitely manage to play some Mario Kart in them with these. And as you can see, they aren't perfectly symmetrical, obviously. It's because, you know, otherwise it would be quite awkward to have the Joy-Con on the right side. The right Joy-Con. I find this one to be a bit more comfortable since the like joystick is a bit more to the right. Instead you get really close and jammed with your thumbs, but I guess that will probably not be a problem. And then we have, of course, the Joy-Con straps. So when you put this on, you have to be really precise, or I guess you have to really pay attention so that the plus matches the plus here, and then you just slide them on. Because it is possible to slide them on in the wrong direction. I'm not gonna do it, obviously, but if you do that, they are a bit difficult to get detached. Basically, I think that you actually have to pull the so basically before putting them on, you have to pull the lock back a bit. Now it's in, now it's back. It's a bit subtle, to be honest. So you just basically slide it on and it should click. And now you can play with extended shoulder buttons right there, and you'll use it as a basic controller. Take them off again, you have to pull this back, hold the button here, and then just, you see it, like, that's one of the things. This lock keeps getting pushed back. And of course we have the main console itself. Let's not forget about it. So there's nothing particular special on the front, it's just the screen and the speakers are here, and it has an ambient light sensor. And by the way, I actually have a screen protector on mine. This is tempered glass, so it shouldn't scratch at all putting it in the dock. I highly recommend getting one of these because it has been reports that the Switch has scratched the dock. I'm not gonna go too in depth in that now, but you know, that could happen, so you should know about it. On the top here, we have the headphone jack and the game cart. So you have a few vents here, so you definitely don't want to block these, because I'm pretty sure these are the ones that push away the warm air, so you don't want to be blocking those while you're playing. On here you have the volume rockers, plus and minus, and then of course the power button. So on the back side, wow, this gets a bunch of fingerprints. So in there, I'm not actually sure what that is. I guess it's to guide the Switch down the correct path. But yeah, these are intake vents. It has been shown that, you know, placing it on the table like this and playing doesn't really hurt the intake, but you shouldn't be blocking these anyways, because it will get a bit warmer. Here is the kickstand. I really don't like this kickstand. It's really flimsy and it makes a very unsatisfying noise when you pull it out. And of course, the micro SD card. The kickstand, it is designed so if you put too much force on it, it will snap away. I'm not gonna do it because I'm still afraid of my stuff. But it is designed that way, so I think that is because if you accidentally forget to fold in your kickstand while you dock it, like it's purposely made to snap away so it don't, you know, get completely broken. And to dock it, you basically just slide it down and click it down. So I'm actually not too afraid of scratching the screen now since I have a tempered glass protector, but if you don't, you want to be really careful when you pull it down, because you can see these plastic rails. They can scratch the screen of the Switch if you're not careful enough, because the screen is plastic. But yeah, as you can probably tell by the title, I promise you to give you my initial reactions of the Switch. It is definitely not as powerful as the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, but it is more powerful than the Wii U, and the Wii U delivered some really nice games. I'm not sure if I said it, but the Switch screen is basically 720p, but to be honest, you can't really see the pixels on the screen because it's so small, so it's not really a big problem. So if I start it up here, I mean, I have Breath of the Wild here, but yeah, I don't actually think it will be a big problem that the screen is just 720p, because to be honest, you can't really tell that by the screen. Like, obviously it's not as sharp as, let's say, the Samsung Galaxy S7, which I have, which is like Quad HD or whatever you call it, or like the 4K video you are watching right now. But since the screen is still 720p, I'm pretty sure it still has a higher density than a 1080p TV, which most people have nowadays. So I honestly found that playing Breath of the Wild on a monitor, like, it doesn't look as good as playing it on the screen. So, and the colors, to be honest, I think that the viewing angles and the colors are a lot better than the monitor I have. I've always thought it would be amazing to have a console that you can play on a big screen as well as play it on a portable mode. To be honest, I've always dreamed about playing the same games while I'm on the go as well as when playing at home, like in front of my big computer or screen or a TV monitor or something. And the fact that you can do this with the same console, that is truly amazing. And I think that if you are traveling a lot, then this is definitely a console you should pick up. Even if you're not traveling, like if you are interested in, for example, you know, just the Nintendo games, like they are definitely worth it, because Nintendo, like, this is Nintendo's main console now. They will release all of their games to this one. And I think that since it's been quite successful, or in the past few months since it's been released basically, I think that more and more third-party developers will see that it is successful and they will try to make games and whatever. And I think that these Joy-Cons are possibly the best controllers that have been ever made. Why? Well, because they are almost as comfortable as a PlayStation 4 controller, at least in my hands, but that is very subjective. But the fact that you can use these like this, or in the Joy-Con grips like this, or as in handheld mode, like they are the most functional controllers that I've ever seen. And like, you can just slide them in your pockets, like they are so convenient. And you know, they are Bluetooth compatible, so if you want to play them on, like any platformers on your smartphone, you can just pull this out and play. And they should be working on PC as well. The only problem though is the battery life is quite decent, but it's definitely not as good as it could have been. So yeah, those are basically my first thoughts on Nintendo Switch. It's definitely a console that I really enjoy. And to be honest, like, it has my seal of approval, if that means anything to you. But it's something that I would recommend anyone get, especially if you want to take the games you're playing on a desktop on the go. Anyways, thanks for watching this unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next video.